What's up guys? Welcome back to MacMerlin. Today I'm reviewing my very first split keyboard. This keyboard is called the Mistel Barocco, or in some circles the Mr. Broccoli. This board first came out around 2016, and this year they finally have an RGB version. This keyboard is currently available on Amazon for around $150. The price may vary on switch, color, and even when you're watching this review. For an off-the-shelf keyboard, this is fairly pricey. It comes close to some mainstream brands commonly available in your favorite big box stores. Thankfully, I didn't need to purchase it, as Mistel has provided a unit for my reviewing pleasure. As usual, I promise to give an honest opinion on this board. This keyboard comes with very beautiful and compact packaging. It's small enough that you wouldn't guess that it was a keyboard. Opening the box, you see that there are 3 smaller boxes inside, with 2 of them connected to each other. Packaging doesn't exactly do anything for a keyboard, but I just really appreciate it when a mechanical keyboard has awesome packaging. The connected pieces house the actual keyboard halves, while the third container has a keycap puller, cables, and an instruction manual. This is one of the few keyboards that actually come with a decent keycap puller. Most keyboards come with something like this, which can damage your keycaps. The wire keycap pullers are great, and more companies should really package them along with their keyboards. The keyboard is basically a split 60%, so for those of you who can't live without navigation keys, this might not be the keyboard for you. Due to the size, the keyboard feels very sturdy. Each half does not have any flex. The case is angled and high profile. If it's not angled enough for you, each half even has an extra pair of legs to suit your tastes. Now, this is unique. It's not just one level you can adjust, but 2. The Barocco comes in a white and a black version, but I picked the white one because most of my keyboards are dark, and I figured I could use something that looked different. There's only one way to connect this keyboard properly, but there are multiple ports. Good thing there's a reference diagram on the bottom of the keyboard. I think the keyboard looks really good. The case even has indicator lights. For those of you who like to change keycaps every now and then, for the most part the keyboard supports a standard layout. The only thing you really have to worry about is the space bar. But good thing, the stock keycaps are actually really good. The keycaps are backlit compatible PBT. They are made by Vortex and they are actually double shot, which means your legends will most likely never wear off. If you purchased the non-backlit version last year, your keycaps, however, are only pad pinted, and you'll scratch the legends off pretty easily. The keyboard uses cherry-style stabilizers, but unfortunately, you still get a fair bit of rattle. As usual, make sure you get some dielectric grease to dampen the sound. Taking apart the keyboard is fairly simple. The shell is comprised of 2 pieces, which are both fairly flimsy, but when combined with the metal plate and PCB, it makes each half very sturdy and flex resistant. Looking at the PCB, we see that the soldering job is also done pretty well. But for $150, anything less would just be very unfortunate. 60% is one of my favorite layouts, and I actually use one quite regularly. I like how the keyboard feels, and I love how the split makes it more ergonomic. However, because of how it's split, you run into trouble if you don't press the side keys using the correct fingers. I'm speaking from experience, by the way. My favorite feature is that the left side of the board can be used independently. I like this as it gives the little gaming I do an ergonomic spin. As I mentioned earlier, this is the RGB version, and I'm proud to say that it is true RGB. What do I mean by that? Some manufacturers advertise RGB when their keyboard really only have different colored LEDs instead of an RGB LED. Every in-switch LED on this board is an RGB LED. It's even got a few interesting lighting modes. So when you look at the manual, it says to hit PN plus F1 to do anything with the LEDs. So does this mean to hit the FN key and the PN key and then hit one of the numbers? No, it does not. I think this is a typo, because all you really need to do is hit PN. Let's see what this does. This board has quite a few lighting options. I'm just going to read the list off here. It's got reactive mode, ripple mode, aurora mode in both single and RGB color. It's even got RGB raindrop, light up in a single color, RGB breathing mode, and wave mode. Being such a small keyboard, it's important that it also has some form of programmability. There are 4 layers to the Barocco. You've got your default layer, which can't be programmed, and then layers 1, 2, and 3. You can access these layers by hitting Fn and the less than, greater than, or question mark key. Other than being able to program individual keys and macros, it's also got a bunch of built-in functions, such as my favorite actually, if you hit the Windows key, right Alt and right spacebar, you actually turn your bottom right modifiers into arrow keys. You're also able to change the locations of your Fn and Pn key, as long as you're not on your default layer, and of course you're able to remap Fn to caps lock as well. Please refer to the manual for more details. It's even got firmware upgradability, but only if you're on a Windows machine. I really like how they chose to do this keyboard in a 60% form factor, but personally, having the split also entails having extra wires, and it's just somewhat more difficult to properly store. My usage of it is actually just the left half, and only when I'm gaming. This keyboard may not necessarily find you true love, but maybe if you wait long enough. But if you're fine with the 60% aspect, you're looking for a split keyboard, decent functionality, and something that's readily available, this is the keyboard to get. The price is high, but it's currently the only one of its kind. Kudos to Mistel for doing something completely different. Anyway, I hope you all enjoyed this review. If you liked it, don't forget to let me know by hitting that like button and maybe leaving me a comment or two. If you would like to purchase this keyboard, make sure you check out the links down below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video.